Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video we'll be doing this room called Bypass Really Simple Security from TryHackMe. It was released 4 days ago and without wasting any further time we'll get into it. So here we are. The room is rated as easy and it should take 30 minutes to complete this room. And again, this is one of the WordPress CTF. Last one was again WordPress CTF small, where we exploited a plugin. We'll be exploiting a plugin in this one as well, but this time the fun part is the plugin which we'll be exploiting in this one is used for security. So the plugin is vulnerable to CVID 2024-10924. So the vulnerability in CV 2024 arises because of insecure coding practices while handling REST API endpoints in this plugin. Now WordPress provides three entry points. One is admin dashboard, then we have public interface, and then we have REST API. This is where we are interested right now. Now, how the vulnerability works. If you want to check the source code yourself, the machine has this path to access this PHP class within the plugin itself, which is called RSSL two-factor onboard API. Now it has a method called skip onboarding, which is basically vulnerable in this case. Now this method skip onboarding has a function called check login and get user. This basically checks for the user ID and their user nonce, pass it for accessing their dashboard. But in case the user ID is incorrect or the user nonce is incorrect, it's not getting passed in the right manner, due to which this vulnerability arises. So the class name which is getting exploited in this case is RSSL two-factor onboard API, which includes the following functions: check login and get user, which is getting exploited basically. What is the function name that accepts user ID and login nonce as arguments and validates them? So that would be the function here, check login and get user, which checking for the user ID and login nonce. So if I copy check login and get user function, alright, looks like that's a correct answer. Now if we go to the exploit section for this vulnerability, in this task we will learn how to exploit the CV. Exploiting of this vulnerability is straightforward and involves sending a crafted post request to the vulnerable API endpoint. From the previous task, we learned that the endpoint accepts three key parameters: user ID to skip 2FA onboarding, a nonce value which is not validated correctly, and the URL to redirect the user after the operation. In the attached VM, open the browser and visit the website vulnerable.wp.thm8080 wp-admin, and if we go to the machine, which basically redirects us to the same login page. Now this room already has given you the exploit code. The script extracts and displays the cookies in response to authenticate the user. Below is a simple Python script that sends a post request to the vulnerable endpoint. This script extracts and displays the cookies in response to authenticate the user. Now let's see what's in there. Hitting the endpoint, skip onboarding, random value, The above Python code is already available on the desktop of the attached VM with the name exploit.py. Open the terminal and execute the script using the following command. So if I open the terminal on the machine, Python, I think first we need to get into the desktop folder. So I'll get into desktop, Python 3 exploit.py. Cool. Looks like we have the cookies for the user admin. From cookies to admin login, we will use the cookies retrieved to log in as admin on the WordPress website. And this section we already know how to perform it, so I'll skip this and go to the question section. What email address is associated with the username admin? Let's first try to log in as the user admin. So we'll utilize this cookie, copy it, and if you want to edit the cookies, you can use the developer tools within Mozilla Firefox. And if we go to the cookies section, we can see there are 2 cookies. We'll add one more here and paste what we have found. And let's go to WP admin. Did not work. Surprising. Let's try the second cookie we have there. And try the WP admin link again. Looks like it worked this time. Oh yeah, it worked. And we are in the dashboard now as the user admin. You can see it here. Now the question says what email address is associated with the username admin? User ID 1. So if we go to the profile section, here we can fetch the username and email address. So I'll copy this. There we go. Then it also asks for the first name value for the username Tesla user ID 2. In this case, we'll have to exploit the vulnerability again to fetch the cookies for user ID 2. So if I go back to my terminal, and this time we'll try to copy the second cookie first. Let's log out. And if I go to developer tools again, add the cookie, we'll go to the WP admin link again. Looks like it worked again. And we are in as the user Tesla. Now the question asks, what is the first name value for the username Tesla? I noticed there is a section for users, so I'll go to this section directly. I can see Tesla. Let's go to view, author, Tesla. Let's go to the edit section. First name Jack. So Jack. What is the HTTP method required for exploiting the vulnerability get.post? So we already know the authentication is happening as a post request, and Python script sends a post request to the vulnerable endpoint. So the answer should be post. Woohoo! Looks like we have completed the login. Now, detection and mitigation. In the previous task, we learned how to exploit the CV, making a simple API call to the specific endpoint, examining logs. To identify exploitation attempt of the CV, we can rely on various logs that can capture API activity events, etc. So check web logs for this endpoint. Analyze authentication log. Look for login attempts where two-factor authentication is bypassed. Indicators of potential exploitation include failed login attempts followed by a sudden successful login without 2FA validation. As a security engineer, you have identified a call to this particular endpoint from web logs. Does that confirm that the user is 100% infected? No, not at all, because it can be a valid user as well. I have understood the detection and mitigation techniques. Conclusion. Cool. Looks like we have completed this room. It was a quick one, but it does tell none of the plugin is secure out there. If you like this video, like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.